The gnome named Pippin. Once upon a time, in a cozy little village, nestled between rolling hills and whispering forests, there lived a young gnome named Pippin. He was known far and wide for his mischievous grin and penchant for finding humor in everything. Pippin's bright red hat, which always seemed a bit too big for his head, bounced with every step he took. Now, Pippin had a secret talent. He could make the sunniest day even brighter just by being around. His laughter was contagious, and his jokes could turn a frown upside down in an instant. But one day, something strange happened in the village of Mossy Hollow. The normally cheerful villagers seemed downcast, their faces clouded with worry. Pippin, ever curious and unable to resist a mystery, decided to investigate. He skipped from door to door, asking everyone he met what had happened to make them so sad. But no one seemed to know. Finally, he came upon Old Oakley, the wisest oak tree in the forest, who had been around for centuries and knew everything about everyone. Old Oakley, Pippin exclaimed, "What's wrong with everyone in Mossy Hollow? They're all so gloomy." Old Oakley sighed deeply, his leaves rustling in the breeze. "Ah, Pippin, my boy," he rumbled in his ancient voice, "it seems that the cheerful crystal, the source of our village's happiness, has gone missing." Pippin's eyes widened with surprise. The cheerful crystal was a magical gem that had been passed down through generations, said to hold the very essence of cheerfulness itself. Without it, Mossy Hollow would lose its joy and laughter forever. "I must find it," Pippin declared, his heart pounding with determination. Old Oakley nodded solemnly, giving Pippin directions to the Cave of Echoes, where the crystal was last seen. In the beginning, Pippin faced the mischievous river sprite, who tried to deceive him with illusions of roaring floods and treacherous currents. At first, Pippin fell for the sprite's tricks and nearly turned back, but he remembered his determination and found a clever way to charm the sprite with a funny limerick, making it laugh so hard that it revealed a safe path across the river. Next, he encountered the tricky troll at the bridge to the cave, who demanded tolls of riddles. Pippin's first attempts were met with stony silence or frustratingly difficult counter-riddles. Undeterred, he persisted, swapping witty puns and brain teasers until the troll, begrudgingly impressed, allowed him to pass. Finally, nearing the Cave of Echoes, Pippin faced the grumpy old owl perched on a moss-covered branch. The owl, with a disdain for haste, insisted on reciting long, dull poems about ancient legends. Instead of rushing or becoming annoyed, Pippin listened attentively, then shared a humorous anecdote that lightened the owl's mood, earning its respect and a helpful clue to finding the entrance to the cave. Through his cheerful spirit, quick wit, and resilience, Pippin not only overcame each challenge but also left behind smiles and laughter, turning potential adversaries into allies on his quest to reach the Cave of Echoes. After what seemed like ages, Pippin reached the entrance to the Cave of Echoes. The cave was dark and mysterious, its walls lined with glowing mushrooms that cast strange shadows. Pippin took a deep breath, adjusted his hat, and ventured inside. He wandered deeper into the cave, Pippin's heart sank. The cave was vast and labyrinthine, and there was no sign of the cheerful crystal anywhere. Just when he was about to give up hope, he heard a faint tinkling sound, a sound that was both familiar and comforting. Following the sound, Pippin stumbled upon a small chamber filled with shimmering crystals of every color. And there, in the center of it all, was the cheerful crystal, glowing with a warm, golden light. Pippin's eyes widened with joy as he reached out to touch the crystal. But as his hand drew near, he hesitated. Something didn't feel quite right. Suddenly, he realized what it was. The crystal was surrounded by a faint, invisible barrier. "I see you found my little trap," cackled a voice from the shadows. Out stepped a mischievous pixie named Grimbley, known throughout the forest for his pranks and tricks. Grimbley! Pippin exclaimed, his brow furrowing. Why would you steal the cheerful crystal? Don't you know how important it is to everyone in Mossy Hollow? Grimbley shrugged nonchalantly. I was bored, he admitted with a mischievous grin. And besides, I wanted to see if I could do it. Pippin sighed, shaking his head. But stealing isn't funny, Grimbley. It just makes everyone sad. Grimbley's grin faded, and for the first time, Pippin saw a flicker of regret in the pixie's eyes. Slowly, Grimbley floated closer to the barrier, his hand hovering over the crystal. I guess I didn't think about that, Grimbley muttered. I just wanted to make people notice me. Pippin smiled gently. You know, there are lots of ways to make people notice you, he said. Like telling jokes or playing pranks that don't hurt anyone. You're really good at that. Grimbley looked thoughtful for a moment, then nodded slowly. With a wave of his hand, he dispelled the barrier around the cheerful crystal, and Pippin carefully picked it up. Together, Pippin and Grimbley returned to Mossy Hollow, where the villagers were overjoyed to see the cheerful crystal return safely. Pippin explained what had happened, and to everyone's surprise, Grimbley even cracked a few jokes that made everyone laugh. From that day on, Grimbley became known as the village prankster with a heart of gold. And Pippin learned that sometimes, even the most mischievous of creatures can recognize their own internal landmines and grow from their experiences. And as for Mossy Hollow, well, it remained the happiest village in the forest, where laughter could always be heard echoing among the trees. Thanks to a little gnome named Pippin and a mischievous pixie named Grimbley who learned the true meaning of cheerfulness.